episode number, Josh?
249, and I got a drum roll on that too. That was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
Shit, next week is number 250.
Yep, I'm officially old. It's time for the podcast to start collecting Social Security.
I don't know if we're quite there yet, but
In terms of podcast years, 5, I feel like 5 years is ARP card territory for a podcast.
fair enough. All right, yeah. So
most of them don't last around that long. But continue.
That's true. I actually do know a few podcasts that barely lasted a year. Yeah, my name is Rob. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Josh.
That's me. Not wonderful, but present.
You tell him, Aristotle. Brandon.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we are here every week talking about the week's DC Comics releases, and this week is no different. We have a slew of books before us, 5 to be exact, including Poison Ivy number 34, Birds of Prey number 22, Secret 6 number 4, Justice League The Atom Project number 6, last issue of that run, and JSA number 8, with our honorable mentions being Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 number 1, and Batgirl number 8.
And Resurrection Man Quantum Karma number 3, and the DC Pride special.
Oh, I did forget to include that. I don't think I saw Resurrection Man on the list.
And Absolute Superman and Absolute Green Lantern both came up this week too, right?
Yes, those have come out, and they will be talked about at the end of the month when we do our monthly Absolute Roundup.
That's because we're jerks, and you have to wait 30 days to hear about it.
But I think it's been a success so far. I think
agreed.
I think having the Absolute Roundup is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
It works out.
As long as it doesn't end up being like 20 fucking issues a month.
Oh god, if Absolute Books gets that big, Jesus Christ, I quit.
It's done. Yeah, we'll have to pick a universe and stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so DC Pride came out this week. I completely forgot to add that to the list. Damn, how did I miss that one?
I don't know. You weren't feeling very gay, that's for goddamn sure.
I mean,
Avril Lavigne aside.
I was at an Avril Lavigne concert Tuesday night, and I was at a hotel Wednesday morning, and I kind of like hastily scrabbled together the list yesterday morning when I was getting ready to leave the hotel, so I guess I just missed the 2 books. I honestly don't remember.
That sounds like some pretty sus excuse
at all.
Yeah, that's just a rotten excuse.
Yeah, it is. But
you're not gay enough.
Wow. I mean, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Everybody could use being just a little bit gayer.
Exactly. That's what I always say. Especially
that's what fashion always says.
Yeah.
That's what fashion always says.
Hell, if you saw my outfit Tuesday night, you'd say that's so not gay. You look stupid.
I saw your outfit Tuesday night. Wasn't that what your picture in the Discord was?
Yeah, with me, the wife, and my niece.
Yeah, you were wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
I wasn't wearing jeans. I was wearing shorts.
Oh, well, you were wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as though the clothing options that you presented were quite a statement of any kind.
No, but it was mostly like I bought board shorts from West 49, and the shirt was an Avril Lavigne shirt that we bought at the concert. But I had green Converse and some like Fruit Loop socks I got from West 49 too. So I thought it was like, I might look like a skater boy. I don't know.
I'm a skater boy. Yeah, you stole the fucking joke out from underneath me. No, I don't even want to do the show.
It was my joke first, Josh. Can't steal something that's inherently Canadian.
I'm American. We can steal whatever the fuck we want from Canada. You're about to be our 51st state.
Fuck you, hoser.
You know what's funny is that people keep calling. This is the state of the American education system, is that we keep calling Canada and Greenland our 51st state.
Wait, people are calling Greenland the 51st state as well? Do they
Yeah.
not know that's part of Denmark?
Well, it's kind of sort of a part of Denmark. Denmark's like, fuck you. Greenland's like, I mean, you guys can come and visit, I guess. But I mean, yeah, Greenland is actually going for its own independence.
Yeah.
You know, side note, but yes, yes, everybody's more than aware of that. But I mean, you know, Canada belongs to Canada too, right? It's like, yeah,
Honestly,
it keeps getting both of them are like doesn't one wouldn't like let's just say we get both. Wouldn't one of them have to be the 52nd state?
I just want to say, for the record, anybody just saying that the entirety of Canada, the second largest country in the world, is going to be
Yep.
a single fucking state,
Just one state.
you're dumb.
Yeah.
This country will be divided into at least 7 to 10 other states.
Absolutely not. It will be Texas 2.0, one massive landmass with Toronto as its capital. You might think it would be in Montreal, but it would not because Americans hate the French.
Yeah, it won't be Toronto either because this place is too multicultural. It's going to be Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or in Ottawa.
The
Or
one
in,
thing
like,
that's-
Regina.
Nobody talks about
Out-
Regina.
Out in the middle of nowhere. That's perfect, right?
Saskatoon there, bud.
It's Saskatoon.
At a Saskatoony. Anyway, the thing that I find hilarious about that whole political thing is, okay, DJT is talking about making Canada a state and like taking over that country, which in any other time, in any other world, in any other country, that's declaring an act of war essentially. But just like lumping in Greenland, why Greenland? I don't get that. At least we're attached to the U.S.
I am Cornholo. Oh,
What?
it's for the same reason that they want. It's for the. I mean, if we're getting way off the topic of comics,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
the same reason why they want Canada. It's for the waterway access and rare earth elements that allow whoever owns that area and has access to those resources to become the world's #1 producer in all things technology.
Right.
But
So
that's
he is
neither here
trying-
nor there.
He's trying for
Very-
world domination.
Very, very, very much some Lex Luthor shit.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Anyway, speaking of Lex Luthor, he's not in the. Actually, no, he is in this week.
He does pop in.
Yeah, he is in the show this week. We'll be talking about him a little bit later. But before we get into that, do y'all got any news? I got nothing.
Same here.
Just yesterday, I paid in advance to give my kid a case of diarrhea.
Oh, I get it. Okay. I was like,
I
what?
paid in advance to give my kid a case of diarrhea.
So he's gonna be
It's
home
his
sick from
birthday.
school one day.
No, it's his birthday, and yesterday I bought him the Switch 2 for his birthday, which means he's going to shit himself.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I thought it was the case of like his birthday's on like a Thursday, and you and Holly are just gonna be like, yeah, you can like stay home from school this day and play. your Switch."
School's over with, homie.
It's only the beginning of June. What the fuck is wrong with your education system?
What is wrong with there's no snow days. That's the big difference between North and South. There's no snow days.
Our schools here go right close to the July 1st as it can. I'm pretty sure I used to have. I think I had school on June 30th once.
Beginning of August, beginning of June. From
Wait.
then to then.
Beginning of August.
Yeah. I'm sorry. End of August, beginning of June.
Okay, I was gonna
My
say,
apologies.
like, do y'all just not have summer anymore? Like,
July and August. That's
yeah.
the summer. June, July, and August. But August in
So,
Georgia blows. So
so your kids get what's essentially 3 months off.
pretty much, it's about 2.5 off of school.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
I mean, if it works.
It doesn't. That's why our numbers in the states keep falling. It doesn't work, but there are some exceptions to the rule. Some real standout stars. I happen to have a couple of bright kids. There's Brandon, who doesn't even know how to take a break. He wants nothing more desperately than to relax, but I feel as though Brandon doesn't know how to.
Yeah, that may be right.
Oh, you poor guy. I can say that because it wasn't until I met Holly that I knew how to relax. Like, it was always I had to do something.
Yeah.
I couldn't ever just sit down and watch TV. I would have to be sit down and watch TV, paying attention to that and reading a book at the same time, or doing something on my phone or something like. I can just sit back and enjoy one thing at a time now. I'll still never understand the purpose or necessity of a nap, but I can watch a TV show without doing anything else.
Well, that's good.
That is a major accomplishment for me.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I'll say, at least from my own experiences, the point of a nap is middle of the day. You're really fucking tired and you need a rest.
Oh, it's like, well, then you need to stand up and stay up and make sure that your sleep cycle at night gets fixed correctly so that you're not tired anymore. Taking a nap is only going to fuck you up in the long run. That's just my personal opinion.
That's a fair
But
opinion.
I've been running on 4 to 5 hours of sleep my entire fucking life. So, well, I mean, not,
crazy.
I mean, like, a night.
Yeah.
No naps, man. If I take a nap, if I crash, if I take a nap an hour, 2 hours long or whatever, it will fuck with my sleep cycle. If I get a full night's sleep, if I pass out for 8 hours at night, it's going to fuck up my sleep cycle. 100%. Oh, yeah, tell that to Holly, because she thinks so too. Absolutely hates it. We're dog sitting right now, so she has to sleep in bed with me, and it drives her fucking bonkers. Usually she saves herself some sanity with the sound of my breathing and the breathing machine and the fact that I generally don't sleep by getting up and crashing in the living room on the pull-out sofa. But with the dog, she can't do that. So she's been stuck here. Me, 4 to 5 hours of sleep at the most. I'm well rested. Her, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much at all. Poor Holly.
Well,
what about
yeah,
you guys?
That can segue me into what I did remember I was going to bring up. The Switch 2 came out.
I brought that
today. Yeah. No, I was saying, like, it's a segue to, I remember. I forgot I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
I can't
Switch 2
wait.
Just come out today. Mine's coming Saturday because Amazon's fucking weird. I don't know. We'll have to get
Shipping
the
is
skinny from
weird,
Isaiah
man.
On how it plays, how it runs.
Shipping is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's like this is for Miss Liam's birthday. It is so hard not to want to crack that sucker open
Gotcha.
and play it.
Yeah. I mean, you could always just factory reset it after.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna risk something going wrong with the damn thing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Hit that classic movie trope. You open it up, you play it for 2 hours, and then you go to put it back, and then like, oh no, a hammer fell on it. What the fuck am I
Yeah,
gonna do
not,
now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or, in the TV shows where there's always that girl that buys the dress but leaves the tag on and then spills the red wine on it afterward. It's like, oh no.
Yep.
All right. How many different ways can we stray from the topic of comics today?
Oh, don't challenge me, good sir. Stray? Stray is my middle name.
Speaking of which, we'd like to offer you the opportunity to donate to the ASPCA. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I'm just fucking with you.
Is it weird that Sarah McLaughlin started playing in my head when you said ASPCA?
No, because she I'm pretty sure she might
It's
own the
ASPCA.
ASPCA. Yeah. Yep. Her and some random angel, I don't Martinez, or I don't know. Some angel dude. Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, that's about it. I want to turn out
That's
the video
about it.
concert. Switch 2's come out.
Excited.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
Sweet.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do wish that I could play Mario Kart with you, Brandon. I feel like me and you. I feel like we would have. I feel like we would have fun playing Mario Kart together.
Yeah.
After you got used to me calling you a dirty motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm excited for Rob, for you to experience the Switch 2, and I hope Liam enjoys it very much. I was saying before we started recording that there was a moment where I saw a news segment about the Switch 2, and I was like, dang, I really got to try and get my hands on that. But I was just like, when was the last time I played a video game for more than 30 minutes? And the fact that I couldn't think of an answer to that feels like a clear sign that I probably shouldn't drop $400 on a game system that might be collecting dust in
Shit.
a month.
I wish it was
It's
only
$400.
Yeah.
There was like, by the time I left, so we got 4 people here, right? We've got the 2 boys, me, and Holly.
Yeah.
Right.
Which means that we've got to have an extra set of Toy-Cons, and we've got to have a couple Pro controllers so that you can play every kind of game that there is. So there's got to be a total of 4 fucking controllers. That's an extra $300 of controllers right there.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I think I got that. I got the SD card because you got to have the faster SD card or else it won't work now. You got to have the Express SD card. It was and the 1-year warranty on everything, and it was just under $1,000. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of bread.
My kids, I love them, but god damn it, Mario Kart better be amazing.
I honestly does. I watched a video not too long ago of the first cup, all 4 races of the first cup. It looks fucking amazing. I'm speaking as a lifelong Mario Kart fan who's played every iteration.
Yep.
And it looks so freaking good.
Dude,
Roster
I'll play
is
any
amazing.
kind.
There's like, I think it was like 20 racers.
A
at
million.
time.
24.
24. The courses are massive. They look amazing. It plays amazing. There's new mechanics, new features. I am so fucking stoked.
Awesome.
It's gonna be a blast. I don't think there. You should have no concerns that Mario Kart is not going to be really good.
Oh, I truly don't have any. It always is. You can always count on a main 3D Mario game to be amazing. You can always count on Mario Kart to be amazing.
Yeah.
So solid hits. Your Metroid, your Donkey Kong, your Kirby, all of which are coming to the Nintendo Switch. And there is one other thing, and I can't believe now, granted, I don't have my nose buried into the butthole of the internet like so very many of my friends. However, I have yet to hear anybody bring up the topic of something I found on Nintendo's own website. No picture, no release date, just the title, Project 007.
Oh, that might be the game that was announced at the State of Play yesterday.
Is it a GoldenEye remake?
No. Let me pull it up here.
Because if it's not a GoldenEye remake and it's just a 007 game that's like lame, it should have all of the same kind of things and game modes that the original GoldenEye had, or don't make a Bond game, period.
It's called 007 First Light. It's a new young James Bond. From Hitman Studio IO Interactive.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it just single player?
That I'm not sure.
Boo.
I would hope not. Realistically.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to have a multiplayer game. If it's just single player, then it's just not my James Bond.
Oh, that also reminds me. Speaking of State of Play, a new Marvel game was announced yesterday.
Hey, you know what? Before you get into that, I was in line, and I at the GameStop picking up my Switch, and I was sitting there talking to these guys about comics. Comics came up, so naturally, I'm sharing my very popular opinions, and they get into the discussion of the Batman movie with Matt Reeves, the Batman.
Okay.
And
Good old Batman, yeah.
so we're sitting there in the line, and I still don't know who it was that said it, because the line was about 17 people deep. But I'm talking to this one guy, I'm not, my voice carries a little bit, and I'm like, it's just, it's whatever. It was 7 part 2, so call it 8, whatever it was. It wasn't really fucking Batman. That definitely wasn't the fucking Riddler. And then from the fucking peanut gallery, all I hear is Gatekeeper, and that was it.
What? That's not gatekeeping. What?
Oh.
Wow.
I didn't pursue it. I didn't, just brush it off. But I thought that, what?
Somebody needs to go look up the definition of gatekeeping.
What is a Ute? That's the level of that I thought I was dealing with. But, okay. Now that I shared that, I felt like I can let you carry on now.
Fair enough. I still haven't watched that movie. I don't know that I really care to.
My cousin Vinny?
No, the Batman.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, I like 7. When you say it's 7, like, well, that does sound interesting. Because I really like 7.
Well, I mean, go watch it as long as you can unplug from it having to be a Batman movie. If you can do that, then I'm assuming that you definitely could. Fuck, everybody else on the planet did. Go ahead and watch it. Don't let my gatekeeping.
No, don't get me wrong. I had this opinion before you even gave yours. It never really looked appealing to me.
Yeah.
It's actually, oddly enough, it's your opinion that's making me want to watch it.
Like, if he doesn't like it, there's got to be something redeeming about this movie.
I do like Paul Dano. I can't lie. I like Paul Dano.
I feel like I want to say yes, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now anything that he's been in.
That's the crazy part. I can't think of titles either, but I know I've seen him in other stuff I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's insane. How the hell can I not think of a single other Paul Dano movie?
Well, see, the problem is that ever since Paul Dano came onto the scene and got involved with the Batman, now I'm constantly fucking him up with Paul Dini, and that's
No.
that has made me look like a dipshit on more than one occasion.
Little Miss
Like
Sunshine.
mixing up Matthew Rosenthal and Matthew Rosenberg.
Oh,
I I did that for a very, very long time. I actually had it in my head that they were the same person.
fair enough.
Felt like an idiot. No. Is it? It's fair enough.
I say that about everything.
Think that the guy from Smallville was writing all those badass comics at DC.
I honestly imagine he could have been. That's Michael Rosenbaum.
That's what I said.
I thought you said Rosenthal.
Rosenbaum. But oh, if I said it wrong, that even adds to it. That's just great. But yeah, Rosenbaum and then Rosenberg, and I had those two like smushed together.
Oh,
Whoopsie.
it's Matthew instead of it's Matthew Rosenberg
And Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit.
Yes. Yes. There's literally only two syllables that are similar in that entire long ass fucking name. And my brain goes, nope, those are the same people. I don't care what you say. All right.
He's in Night and Day. Fuck, I can't remember what he was in. Looper. So that's the thing. I've seen a lot of movies that feature him, but that's why I can't think of movies that he's in because, like, even though I know these movies and I'm thinking about the movie, I still can't tell you what he was in, what part he played in the freaking movie.
It was in that fucking movie, man.
Yay. Anyway,
I don't know.
new Marvel game coming very soon. Supposedly, all the information I have right now is that it is going to PlayStation 5 and Steam and Epic Store. So PlayStation 5 and PC. It is called Marvel Tokon. It is a Japanese-inspired fighting game.
I'm sorry, it's called Marvel what?
Tokon. Tokon. Tokon.
Okay. Tokon.
Tokon. Yeah.
Like here, Tokon this? like Tokon?
Yeah, Doctor Doom said pass the duchy.
Sick.
Pass the duchy to Doom. Will suffer my wrath. And make sure it is on the left-hand side.
All right, now I need to hear Dr. Doom say bump a cloud.
Don't make me do it.
I'm not. That could get you in trouble.
So close. Yeah. No, it's a Japanese-inspired fighting game. I can't remember the name of the studio that's developing it, but Kirk had mentioned they are very good with character models, and to his credit, the character models look amazing. Iron Man especially, I'm absolutely smitten with the design for Iron Man. It looks a lot like a mobile suit. I love it.
What kind of game is it?
It's a fighting game. 4v4
Like just
fighting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Tag team based fighting games.
Yeah. Very
A
much
la-
like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah. Well, there was another Tekken Tag.
Tekken Tag, yeah, very similar to that. But it plays a lot, at least what you can see in the trailer, it plays a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom, but it is all Marvel characters. And instead of 3v3, it's 4v4. We saw 8 characters in the reveal trailer, including Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Doctor Doom, Ghost Rider, Storm, Oh wait, it's 1, 2. I lost count. 3, 4. Shit. 5, 6. Storm and Star Lord were the 8 characters we saw in the reveal trailer. They, as far as I know, have not mentioned anybody else for roster size, anything. But as Kirk in our chat mentioned, and I 100% agree, if it's 4v4, this roster better be fucking huge.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because
you're just going to be
that's
playing against the
boring
same
as
characters all the
fuck.
fucking time. If they release that game with only those 8 characters, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
If they release that game with anything less than like 24 characters, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Yeah, right. At minimum. I would say
Yeah, minimum.
30 minimum. Like, I
That's
want this roster to rival Budokai's and Kaichi.
that's not gonna happen.
It fucking good. You never know.
It could. I mean, but no video.
Marvel's got
We'll
the
see.
roster to like handle it.
Do they have the talent to keep it going?
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, right away you get Avengers, you get X-Men, you have Cosmic, you have villains, you have street level, and you have whatever you call Ghost Rider, like demonic, spiritual,
Mystical.
magic-based, mystical. Yeah, so like you're pulling from pretty much every corner of the Marvel universe. You could pull characters from anywhere. It's not like they were keeping to like a certain set of people. Like anybody that's just been an Avenger, and that's it. No, they're like pulling from every fucking corner. So, I hope it'll be good. I hope it'll be huge. It does look to be a lot of fun. So we'll have to see. That's coming next year. And yeah, that is all I have for sure.
Well, alrighty then. Brandon?
You got anything going on?
Yeah.
No, nothing new.
Nothing new.
All right.
Have you seen any movies lately, man?
No, I just I haven't really
He's
had
like-
anything that I particularly wanted to see. I know everyone's been talking
What?
about Sinners, but I just for some reason I couldn't really compel myself to check it out. But I don't
Man,
know.
fuck Sinners. How have you not sat down and watched Lilo and Stitch yet, man? That shit's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about a live action remake, if I can be honest. No hate to anyone
I-
who did enjoy
All
it.
of them have sucked ass. If I'm being for real, all live action remakes have sucked ass. This is the only one that didn't. Period.
Mm.
I haven't liked any of them. Both the Lion Kings are ass. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
They
you don't
suck
have to-
butt.
I haven't seen those ones. I have no opinions on those.
Yep. Nope. I don't. I didn't like either of the Lion King movies. I didn't like the Little Mermaid. This is awesome. This is perfect. Could not have asked for okay, so if you would have made a live action Lilo and Stitch movie, this is what it would have turned out as.
Well, that's a good review.
I'm telling you, man. I wouldn't say it if I didn't. It's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Or hello, Miss Family.
Yeah, I don't know. It also, I mean, like, yeah, it was one I think I enjoyed as a kid, but like, I always kind of like Treasure Planet more. They don't really have
Treasure
anything
Planet
in
was
common,
good.
but those are just like 2 movies that I associate with like being on DVD and rewatching them. And usually it was like, well, we have Lilo and Stitch in the cabinet, we have Treasure Planet, we have Gendy Tartakovsky's Star Wars Clone Wars, because my brother got that. Which one am I going to rewatch today? I usually go with Treasure Planet.
Because there's fucking treasure, duh.
Yeah. Ships and shit.
Right? Searching for gold.
For me, that was Fox and the Hound on VHS, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off on VHS, because I'm old. That was me. Those are my two movies that like I watched endlessly when I was a kid.
This is gonna sound so fucking stupid, but I missed out on that shit because I did have just a couple DVDs to rewatch. Like I had satellite, so like I had 4 fucking channels. I had like all the DVDs. The video rental store was like right there, and I would just say put it on our account, and so like I always had access to everything that was out there. I never had that connection that like it seems like every nerd out there, every geek out there that has that like long standing fucking bone, that comes down to it being like that. Those 4 comics of your grandpa's that you found that you just read over and over and over and over again, or those 2 DVDs that your mom let you watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never had that. It's just like my menu had everything on it. I just had to hide all the shit that was against Jesus.
Of course.
That's funny.
So no
My
Spawn,
grandma was super religious too. I
no
mean, I got
Iron
to watch
Maiden.
the Bible like cartoons, but I mean,
Oh,
she
yeah.
also had a VHS copy of the first 4 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, so that's why those are etched into my brain.
Oh, yeah.
Surprising loopholes, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I
pretty
mean, it's
poison,
Batman.
not exactly a, like religiously friendly episode or whatever.
No, but from what your grandma knew about Batman, it was going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it was
Right?
just like, oh, it's for kids. Like, it'll keep them entertained.
My great grandma took me to 2 movies. One was 1989's Batman. Go there. She had no idea that she was taking me to go see a Tim Burton movie. She just knew she was taking me to go see a Batman movie. Boy, oh boy, did she sit there with her eyes open. I did not get to go to another movie with my great grandmother until Macaulay Culkin came out with another movie. She had seen him, everybody's seen him in Home Alone. Everybody loved Macaulay Culkin.
Oh no.
So she was like, "Oh, a Macaulay Culkin movie. Let's go see The Good Son." Well, that's not a kid's movie at all.
No.
It's not a kid's movie in any way, shape, or form. So that was the last time I got to go to the movies with my grandparents.
This is why ratings were invented. This is why trailers exist.
Yeah.
Actually, like, read
But
about
back
the
then,
movie
though-
you're going to watch before you go see it.
Back then, though, you would see commercials. You would catch commercials on TV. Sometimes for movies, you would see advertisements in the paper, and you would see it advertised on the outside of the movie theater when you drove by it.
Yeah.
But the saturation wasn't there unless you were watching prime time television.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't know, for all, she just saw Macaulay Culkin. It's like, well, they're going to love this.
But at the very least, you
we
could
we
at least
did, but
ask
not how
the
she.
attendant at the ticket booth. They're like, "Is this good for kids? What's the rating on this movie?" Just like, bare minimum. I get like just thinking it's Macaulay Culkin. It's got to be a kids movie, but like that's such an innocent take. I love that. Just because it's one actor that's been in a lot of kids movies, and the next movie's gonna be is definitely a kids movie.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I love my great grandmother. Rest her soul. But I suppose we should probably get into the soul of why we are here, and that is this week's comic books, the ones Rob already told all of you all about.
Yeah.
Well, not all about,
No.
but I guess
So,
a preface.
all the titles.
I don't need titles. Well, here's one anyway. Poison Ivy number 34. Written by G. Willow Wilson with art from Marcio Takara and colors by Arif Brianto. Lettering by Hassan Atsmani Al-How and a Jessica Fong cover. The next issue after this one is called Battle in Seattle, and that's what this one kicks off. Ivy is fighting against the GCPD that showed up last issue while Janet and Undyne go to get Croc. They are fighting back. Ivy gets shot in the leg and Croc gets arrested. Undyne also manages to talk some of the Green Knights to leave the Gardener and come help Ivy fight the war. One specifically that looks like she suffered some sort of burn, mutation, or infection of some sort, but it's not acknowledged here, at least not yet anyway. That's really quick, but that's the entire book. That's the issue. I made it as short as possible because I'm telling you what happened, but you are missing out on it so much if you think that those 3 sentences are all if you think that those 3 sentences are all you are going to get out of this issue. The story, it moves along perfectly. Janet is already fessing up and paying for her actions, and the whole near perfect world that Ivy built is crashing down around her, with her realizing something. No matter what she does, the world itself is going to need her to be the bad guy in order to be the good guy sometimes. I fucking love this, and it's the same for the art inside and out. As always, Poison Ivy, always phenomenal. It's crafted so damn well. 8.5 out of 10.
Right away, while this is still a very good issue because it's G. Willow Wilson writing Poison Ivy, that's just, it goes hand in hand at this point. This might be the weakest of the entire series so far. It's got some interesting plot development, and like Josh mentioned, we do get some stuff from Janet. We see Undyne bringing some stuff with the Green Knights along. But it just feels like a regression for the character of Poison Ivy a bit. Like, she's tried so hard to not necessarily be a hero, but not be classified as just a typical villain either. And over 33 issues, she goes through this growth of self and potential of being something even bigger than hero and villain. And then now this issue, she just realizing that she needs to be the villain. That just feels like a waste to me.
See, now I feel like there's a little bit of a difference there. I feel like there's a difference between feeling like she needs to be the villain and feeling as though the world needs her to be a bad guy sometimes. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
I feel like she doesn't feel like she needs to be a villain. She just knows that the world, if the world is going to survive, the world is going to need her to do some bad shit sometimes.
Right.
She's going to have to bear that. However, regardless of whether or not my point of view or your point of view is right, I want to say I don't think this is the end of her growth. I think this is just a stepping stone toward her becoming an Avatar. I think that is ultimately the end game here. I'm going to feel like such an ass if I'm not, because I've been saying this since issue fucking 9. But yeah. I really, really, really think that that's where this is headed. And I mean, I'm sitting here like this is I feel like I'm watching Grant Morrison's Animal Man coming together, or rereading Ram V's Swamp Thing, or I mean, just all of those magical ones before I start taking off boxes. It's just I feel like I'm reading one of those magical titles, and I am. Nothing else makes any sense. She's got to end up as an Avatar.
I 100% hope you're right, and I think they've been telegraphing that for a while now, especially through this past few issues with this story arc, that it looks like she is going in that direction, and I hope that is the case. Beyond that, though, the only other thing that I felt made this a little weaker is right at the end when they're fighting all the officers, and the army of the Green Knight, or Order of the Green Knight, shows up and helps out, as well as Janet and Croc. Just kind of, you see glimpses of all the players like fighting officers at different points, and the good guys are winning, quote unquote. Like the officers are losing. Um, and
Right.
yeah, and then just like all of a sudden, the Order of the Green Knight and Ivy and Janet are just like up on top of a hill, and Croc is being arrested. Just like how? And they're just like watching this happen. Like, first off, y'all were winning. Y'all are outnumbering these guys, and Croc could take them down in like two swipes. Why is he just like walking and getting arrested?
Okay.
That threw me.
So that fight lasted a long time, right? So I think that it was
It
just
didn't feel that
a
way.
vast number of officers. I feel like they were holding their own, but they were just outnumbered. I mean, Ivy ended up on the ground and had enough guns pointed at her where she didn't. She actually fucking listened to what she was told. I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's when she was
that
like,
don't
"Oh, no."
happen. I mean, that's true, but I feel like there was a whole bunch of people there. Could be wrong. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, there definitely seemed to be a giant swarm of officers. I just feel like Croc could have done a lot more than just surrender. You know, it the 5 panels we got before that, the our side was winning. The officers were getting beat down left, right, and center. That's what rubbed me the wrong way. Is it didn't look in the slightest like the officers had the upper hand at all. And then just the next panel, they won. Just what the hell happened? I would have preferred if that is the case, and they just like they were overrun by the GCPD. Like, give us that, show us that, because the way it was presented to me just didn't make sense.
Bad art choice. It should have shown more of the GCPD officers in the background rather than singular panels of the good guys whooping ass, and then all of a sudden, where the fuck did these 300 goddamn cops come from?
Yeah, just like all of a sudden, oh, I guess we lost. Like, when did you lose? You were punching and winning. Like, I don't
Grasshopper.
get it.
They were losing from the very start.
They just didn't know it. Yeah, well, with that in mind, the art is still beautiful. The story is still really good. But with those 2 points in mind, I am going to give this maybe the lowest score I've ever given for Poison Ivy, and that's a 7 out of 10. I know. I know.
All right, Brandon. I know you're
Favorite
itching to
book
give
of
your
all time.
score.
Yeah, not too much else to add. I gave this an 8 out of 10. I mean, I think I'm more excited for next month's issue, which should feature a pretty epic battle. But I definitely hear some of the criticism that you're making, Rob. And I agree that some of the stuff was kind of abrupt. But I don't know. I don't think it bothered me as much. I guess I was thinking big picture. Like, there's clearly some kind of purpose for Ivy's character point. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we saw as Janet is starting to get sick here.
Yeah.
And she's walking through the trees, right? She's walking through the forest. She's getting sick. We see black stuff starting to crawl out on her face, right? Now, my question is, what if Bog Venus originally said she's going through some kind of transformation, and then we heard that she's dying? Who, Brandon? That's you. I'm gonna beat you. That was No, I can hear you folding paper bags. Am I right? Is Poison Ivy going to be the first hybrid avatar for the gray and the green, or with this black shit that we saw coming out of Janet, Bog Venus saying she's going through a transformation, us assuming that that's going to be her total and final death? What if Janet is actually online to be an avatar for the gray? And then what does that do to their friendship?
I'm all for this idea, this theory that Janet is changing into a plant-based being and can potentially be an avatar. I think that's a dope idea, and I love that direction for the character. But there's this little nagging voice in the back of my mind that is saying, like, what if the transformation Bog Venus is talking about is she's just turning into mulch? She's gonna
I
die,
mean,
and then she's going to become soil in the dirt.
that very well could be it. But
Yeah.
if that's the point, that is exactly what I'm getting at. If she is turning into mulch to rot into the earth, then she is right there at the avatar of the gray,
Yeah.
being fungus herself.
Yeah. But then, like, all I can think about is like, then that's it. Like, she's just going to die. She'll be in the earth, and that's the last time we see her. Right? There's that nagging voice that's saying that maybe that's what's going to happen.
It's
I
always a
love the
possibility.
theory of of her being an avatar. I love that theory, and I really hope that's true. And I had the same theory, but it's just like there's something is telling me that maybe that's not going to be the case.
All right, so you're thinking Janet, not the gray avatar. Do either one of you guys think that I am right about Ivy being a hybrid avatar yet?
It's
Define
possible. I think it's
hybrid
possible.
avatar.
For both the gray and the green at the same time.
Oh, I mean,
She'll be the
shit.
first in DC lore, if I'm not mistaken. Nobody's ever done that before, but I think Ivy is going to. I think that's her ultimate purpose.
I think when Swamp Thing hears about it, he's gonna get pissed. Like, what the fuck, man? That's illegal.
That's illegal.
I
Come
don't know.
on.
That could
Play.
be interesting. Is it like a chosen one? There's only one avatar, or could there be more than one avatar of a parliament?
There can be more than one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I'm thinking like
We've
if she's
seen
an
Alec
avatar
Holland
of
and
the
Levi
green.
May. We've seen both Alec and Levi take up space in the same panel.
Yeah, but they were both inhabiting the same. I'm still confused about that. Were they both inhabiting the
Nope.
same Swamp Thing body?
Nope. They both were visually distinct from one another. They were both their own Swamp Things. Right, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Interesting.
I'm why are you staying so quiet, man? You know more about this than I am. I walk through all of my shit 75% uncertain.
No, I'll just let you speculate. I mean,
It was just
guarantee
gonna.
we know about the same.
Um. Oh yeah. No, I can see that happen. That'd be interesting. Being a hybrid avatar.
I think it could be pretty cool, man. Not as cool as getting to go to comic conventions, but pretty cool nonetheless.
Yeah. All right. I think that is about it for Poison Ivy.
Yep.
So now we're gonna take a fly on over to our next one.
Birds of
Oh,
Prey,
cool.
number 22. Written
up there.
by Kelly Thompson, art by Sami Basri, colors by, let me just make sure this is right. I'm sorry. Inks also by Vicente Cifuentes, colors by Adriano Lucas, and letters by Clayton Cowles. The birds are in the UAE, or more specifically, Black Canary, Sin, and Cass are in the UAE, looking for clues as to where Barda may have gone. Barbara, meanwhile, is trying to find some kind of clue as to where Barda, or the person who may have kidnapped her, may have gone, and is looking for any kind of residual trace, and thankfully is able to pin onto some kind of energy spike that clues her into where their location might be. We cut back to the UAE, where they happen to stumble upon Barda's Mega Rod, which at first they're a little iffy about using. Sin in particular, or Megara rather, really wants to use the Mega Rod to just get back to Dinah as quickly as they can, as she just let them know
Yeah.
his information. But of course, Black Canaries like that doesn't seem like a very good idea. But for the moment, because rather than have to wait through an entire flight, she decides to let Sin have the Mega Rod and Boom Tube directly into the Birds of Prey HQ, which Barbara is none too happy about. That leads to a rather unfortunate spat between Dinah and Barbara as they're going back and forth about Dinah's actions in the fields and Barbara feeling like she was not following orders and so on and so forth. Dinah's still a little pissed, but I think for the moment, the both of them are able to put aside their frustration with each other and focus on recovering Barda. So they're able to track the energy spike that Barbara had found to Chinatown, where Cass is the first to go in and then ultimately tells the rest of the birds to flee the scene immediately because she sees something horrifying. Just then, she's knocked out of the window, and Canary fires off a cry, hoping that that'll stun whoever knocked Cass out of the window. But we quickly find out that the person who's behind it was none other than Barda herself, infected with some strange liquid, which of course we know is ink. They do their best to try and take her down, but of course, Barda, being a new god, kind of wipes the floor with them. Although Sin is able to knock Barda out momentarily and give the rest of them time to escape. We cut back to the HQ where Barbara, who was knocked out due to some feedback from one of her satellites getting crushed, is awakened by Sela, and they're kind of discussing next options as she's revealing more information about Golden Lion and Velvet Tiger. But at that moment, Barbara gets a mysterious alert that freaks her out. Just as the birds are getting ready to head back to the HQ, the whole thing explodes as they watch in shock. So, hell of a cliffhanger. I suspect Barbara has a plan, as she always has a plan, so I would be very surprised if she was taken off the board after something like that, but still quite a deadly hangover. And as I've mentioned in previous issues, this definitely sees the birds at their not lowest, but most unprepared. Like everything has just kind of been um, getting the upper hand on them. This whole plot has been about getting the upper hand on them, and they're really unsure of how to handle things. But I think that's why the moment of tension between Barbara and Dinah felt so real, because they really have no clue what they're doing and what the best next course of action is. So the moment is obviously not pleasant to see, but it's real and it's felt. So as always, this issue, or this series in particular, is just phenomenal, but really continues to up the stakes with this arc, putting the birds in one of their hardest places yet. So I gave this one an 8.25 out of 10.
Awesome. Give me just a minute. Oh, where the hell did he go?
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, All right, there he goes. He's back now. Good deal.
Yeah, this was a quite an interesting issue, I thought. Yeah, it was surprising to see that tension between Barbara and Dinah. But I think that's some necessary drama for a book like this. Otherwise, you're just going to get a little stale with mission after mission. The missions are exciting and interesting, but I like seeing this interpersonal conflict as well with a team of superheroes that realistically are also friends. And when you have that friendship, occasionally you might come at odds with each other, and that's a nice little touch to see. I like that. It's not. I don't really have many notes for this issue, to be honest with you. I really like the art. I'm enjoying the story arc. I'm still stoked that ink is around. I can't wait to see how this continues. Supposedly, there's still a mysterious boss running all these villains, unless I'm just missing a part of the mystery. But apparently, there might still be somebody we haven't seen yet, and the birds still don't even know about Ink or where she lands in this whole thing. So that's I'm stoked for the time where Ink actually gets to play her hand and reveal her identity. I can't wait for that. For now, it's getting an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah. I mean, Obviously, I'm pretty much right there with both of you guys. We know Babs isn't going to die, so that's good. I think Sella is a character that may be sticking around for a while, if not in story in the background. I think she's a good character. Has got a lot of potential, especially with that cat. That'll be cool. Past that, the art is freaking great in this issue. Lines, colors, shadows, highlights, all of it. This was really good. I can't wait for more. Birds out of prey. For crying out loud. Birds of Prey number 22 gets an 8.5 out of 10 from me. But that's no secret that I was going to rate it that high.
Yeah. I give it 3 birds out of 7 praise.
Nice.
All right. Yeah.
Speaking of secrets,
That's no secret now. Secret 6, number 4. I can't wait for issue 6. That's going to be fun to say. This is written by Nicole Main
Secret
with art
6.
from with art from Kian Sormi and Steven Segovia, colors from Rain Burrito, and letters from Steve Wands. Picking up where we left off last issue, Banshee is using a Banshee screen basically and taking our intrepid team down through their ears. John is able to get himself together enough to fly himself and Catman out of there as fast as possible. However, each member of the team, except for Catman because he is unconscious, thanks to Sonic Screams, has a vision of some dreadful moment of their past, where John saw that. From what I think, this is the time that he burned his cat with heat vision, um, etc., among other moments. All except for Gossamer, who we find out in a minute is actually immune to the Sonic Scream because his ability allows him to phase right through the sound waves, which is fucking dope. Never thought of it that way. That's actually really cool.
yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Banshee, who we now know her first name is Jeanette, calms down and begins to fall faint. Is taken away by uh, a, another checkmate member. Gossamer is the only one left awake, while the rest of the team are being taken away via a truck. Gossamer gets in that truck and follows them all the way to their destination, um, which is an army base somewhere outside of wherever they were before. And it's the U.S. Army, so Gossamer's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And as he finishes off, once again, it's up to me. Typical. Yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, John wakes up. He is met by Catman, who he saved, who is awake at the time. They have a bit of a tete-a-tete as Catman types some stuff into his gauntlet, and up arrives the Catmobile. Because he's a fucking Batman pastiche, and I love it. So they drive off together, and they get to know each other a bit more. Um, Not the most welcome way to learn about each other, but it's what they've got as teammates. Um, John does go on to ask Catman about why him and Deadshot are so close, as Catman does reveal that they did have some time together in the first iteration or an iteration of the Secret Six. They were two of the closest team members because they worked so well together. You had a silent assassin and a loud assassin, basically a ninja and an assassin working together. It was poetry in motion. Basically, they worked really well together. There was at one point though in Madagascar that Deadshot got himself captured on a mission. Catman goes in and saves him, and even though they are still flirting back and forth, the feelings were just not reciprocated by Deadshot to the same degree that Catman felt. It just that Deadshot just didn't care as much about the team up they had, and really that's all it was. So beyond that, he's not caring anymore either. However, he needs to stay with Floyd because Floyd is the only one that's going to put a bullet in Amanda Waller's head. Um, and seeing as that is exactly what he did, going back to Amanda Waller's, what he did after that, That's all that Catman wants to see. Meanwhile, the secret checkmate facility somewhere in DC, Gossamer finds some files called Project Gamora. And I'm going to be honest here, I was a little confused about this last page, so I was going to ask you guys for clarification. If you could maybe decipher it, because all Gossamer says is that they knew they fucking knew. And I'm assuming this has to do with the U.S. government, is who he's talking about.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's because that looks like an American seal on the screen there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about them or if he's talking about the Justice League.
Yeah, yeah, we really don't know. But he's talking about somebody knowing about what was going to happen in Gamora with his mother and it being taken over.
I have the sneaking suspicion that Gossamer is eventually going to turn into a villain.
I wouldn't be surprised, you know. He's been slowly going that direction as it is.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this was an issue. It was a lot of not really backstory, but essentially a flashback issue. There wasn't too much plot development here. We just got more backstory on what was going on with Catman and Deadshot and why um, they appeared so close. And that's because they have a good rapport with each other, and in the end, Catman just felt betrayed by Deadshot, but that's why he's so aggro towards him right now. But they have that bond, if you will. And I think that's cool to see. It's really cool to see. That's really about it. That's about all the notes I have. That was the bulk of this issue because I was confused about the stuff going on with Gossamer. So that's the art was really good. I really like the art. Um, I just can't wait to see more plot development. I'm patiently waiting for issue 5. So for now, it's an 8.25 out of 10.
Ooh. All right, I thought this was okay. I've liked the previous 3 issues. This one was okay. I wasn't overly impressed with it because it's basically just 2 flashback stories. It offered some buffing to the arc overall, but not much that was substantial at all. The art was great, but it didn't feel like there was a lot here. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
It's a 7.5 for me. I really appreciate the callbacks to Deadshot and Catman's platonic / maybe homoerotic relationship during the Gail Simone run. I know there was some commentary that she wanted to put them together, which I think is a great pairing, but DC was against it at the time. But I think I'd be more interested in seeing Jay go through a villain phase or just be a flat out villain than anything I've seen from him before.
I think that's what we're headed to. He just keeps on being more. Okay, so don't take this the wrong way because I know dude's been through a lot, but whiny. God, all he does is bitch.
Yeah,
That's everything he does is whining and complaining. I
Doesn't
thought
listen to any
fucking Bernard was bad.
Bernard is just boring. That's the problem with Bernard. He has no personality, but like Gossamer is literally just
Whiny
doesn't
bitch.
doesn't listen to reason, doesn't care what anybody else has to say.
No.
Just like he said, like he just wants to complain and yeah, he's been through a lot. He lost his country, he lost his mother, but
Everybody else did at the same motherfucking time, yo.
gotta let
Settle
some people
down.
in sometimes.
Simmer down now. Now, hopefully, Secret 6 number 5 and Secret 6 number 6 are going to be fantastic, and it only gets better from here. It's a hell of a project, which leads us to the next book. We are sailing. Look at this. That's a gorgeous cover. And oh man, I am a bonehead and didn't write it down, but I'm gonna go off the cover and say I think I got these right. Written by Ryan Parrott and John Ridley,
Yeah.
art by Mike Perkins
Yeah.
with colors from Adriano
Yeah.
Lucas. And I'm not gonna get any help from the cover for the letterer.
Which
So
I'm gonna be honest, and just on a little segue here, it's been bugging me for a while. Why don't they ever put letterers' last names on the cover? You know, they do creative work on the book too, in a way.
hmm
Give them some fucking credit.
yeah. You know, I mean, I don't like where they break the secondary credits off at all. I think secondary credits should be broke off at variant covers. Letterers and cover artists ought to be in the main credits. But that's neither here nor there. This review is yet another ridiculously quick, though read very though even though it read very well on the page. Ryan Choi helps Captain Atom escape from the Legion of Doom after Cap shares a little of his power with him. They later find out that when Captain Atom doles out different powers, it's seemingly only temporary. Now he's on board to set all the powers back to how they should be and also be a full member of the Justice League once again. While Ray Palmer realizes, once again, that being an asshole just isn't okay. This was a good idea. This was a good read. This is a great story arc. I've really dug this whole series so far. 6 issues in, it's awesome. What a way to wrap up the uh, what we've got here. It's I wish it was continuing in this title. There is more to come in World's Finest JLU crossover, and it says throughout 2025. So there's that too. I just hope it doesn't get left by the wayside. I want more Captain Atom, not just the bones of this story. That would be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of great, really great art. And, you know, I mean, altogether, a pretty damn good wrap up on this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed the wrap up. I enjoyed the story. I do wish there was more to come in this. I thought there would be a bigger wrap up, because I thought this was like I would have bet money that of all the miniseries, there was going to be a Catalyst book that was really going to tell a big chunk of at least the beginning of the all-in story of the mixed up powers. Um, and this one felt like that's where it was going to go. Like, yeah, we had it's called the Atom Project, and it had all the atoms in it, but it really felt like this was going to fix that problem of the swapped abilities, and it by the end it didn't really do that.
No, it's setting up a year long, well, a half a year long chase of doing so,
Yeah,
you know?
unless they've just set up the little, I don't know. I guess you could call it a MacGuffin in a way of because Captain Atom was technically a MacGuffin through the story, where he can be the person that shows up. Okay, like with Lois and Zod and Superman are action comics, and they are there, and like, okay, your powers got swapped. Here's Captain Atom. Boom, you're done. Or like end of JLU's crossover, Gorilla Grodd and Martian Manhunter are there together. Okay, Captain Atom, go, and like he's just gonna show up and like in all the books and like fix the powers. If that's what this was setting up, fine. I guess that works. Um, we'll just have to see.
Captain Atom, he's our hero. Gonna bring power transfer down to 0.
um, yeah, no, so I really enjoyed the story. I liked a book with, at the very least, with Ryan. And then again, I really like Ryan Choi as a character, and having all three quote unquote Atoms, even though one is Captain Atom, I still enjoyed having all of them together in one book. That was really cool. I do wish there was more, so I'm disappointed on that. But I like what we had. It is getting an 8.75 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an okay ending. I like where Ray Palmer has ended character wise with this, but it feels kind of
Yeah.
unnecessary to cast Ray in this like, oh, I'm, Mr. Science. I'm like a bit of an asshole when Ray usually's never had that personality trait at all, and I'm not even really sure why they used Ray in place of other scientists for that type of character to kind of deconstruct it. But I don't know. It
Yeah.
just feels, yeah. Anyway, I'm happy that he's over that, but it feels like a very unnecessary character arc for a character that never had that to begin with. Like Ray is so docile. That's half the reason why his wife Jean ended up cheating on him. Well, that and him being busy in the lab, but like
Yeah.
it was his non-assertive personality that led to him basically retreating and ending up in I forget the name of the miniature city in Sword of the Atom. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I just this is it feels like the author's own interpretation of Ray having this kind of assertive personality when contrary to everything we've seen, it's usually not the case. So I don't particularly love that, but I'm glad that he's in a better place at least.
It
Yeah.
definitely felt like they were maybe trying to make him a DC's Hank Pym.
Yeah. Or
No.
like, I don't know, Reed Richards Civil War era.
Yeah.
Nobody should be anybody's Hank Pym. He's not a good guy.
Minus the spousal abuse. Just Hank Pym is still a bit of an asshole,
Yeah. He's not a good guy.
and I feel like that's what they were trying. Like you said, Brandon, it felt a little out of character. You had a point there about with Ray, and just yeah, maybe they were trying too hard to make him like
Mm-hmm.
a modern Hank Pym.
Yeah, something like that.
They both shrink, right? They've both been around since the '60s. Yeah.
Yeah, right around the same time, I think. It's another one of those instances of whose idea was it first.
Mine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of heroes that have been around for a long ass time,
Boom.
here's these ones. And a cover that fucking reflects it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, certainly, yeah. It's very nostalgic for
Very
people
nostalgic.
who were reading comics in the 40s. I don't even know if anyone. Well, I think Roy Thomas is still alive, so he might remember that. Anyway, JSA number 8, brought to us by Jeff Lemire with the guest art from Gavin Guidry, colors from Luis Guerrero, and letters from Steve Wands. This is a pretty quick one. Um, Not necessarily because it's lacking in story content, mostly just because it reads pretty fast. But basically, this is our first of, I assume, a few flashback issues, which will key us into some very important developments with the modern day Injustice Society. But basically, once upon a time in Berlin in May 1945, following VE Day, the Justice Society is trying to get their hands on the Staff of Destiny to make sure that there are no further shenanigans. And where once they were not able to enter Germany because the staff's presence was keeping them out, they're now able to do so thanks to the help of the original Unknown Soldier. Meanwhile, a few other members of the Justice Society, including Jay Garrick, Hawkman, and Liberty Bell, as well as Dr. Fate, are keeping Baron Blitzkrieg and some of his followers at bay, while Wildcat and Our Man follow the Unknown Soldier to the heart of the secret base of Wotan and Johnny Sorrow. We're trying to perform some kind of ritual. Of course, they're very eager to attack, but in doing so, Ted gets a glimpse of something that he should not see, and basically sees a bunch of different, like, eldritch demons, basically, a la Cthulhu, which sends him into shock. But thanks to the timely arrival of Nabu, aka Dr. Fate, they're able to stop Wotan and Johnny Sorrow before they're able to complete the spell and bring these eldritch monsters onto Earth. And as they're recapping everything, Ted is still a little shell shocked from what he's seen, mostly because he knows that this is not the end and that there is something coming in the future, something horrific. We cut to the present day, where Viper and Wotan are talking about making preparations. But of course, Viper is a little bit worried about Dr. Midnight, or I'm sorry, not Viper, Lady Cobra, is worried about Dr. Midnight and how she may reveal information to the JSA about their plans. Wotan is entirely unfazed, given that they now have the Helmet of Fate, and that the subtle realms, which contain the eldritch creatures, will soon be opened, just as soon as the device that they've manufactured from some of Ted Knight's technology finally charges up, and once the time is right, they'll be able to bring the realm into ours, and the Justice Society will finally be dead. So as far as flashback issues go, this is pretty great. You get all the classic JSA stuff that you can imagine, even a cameo from the Blackhawks, which is pretty cool. So a lot of really fun stuff here. Really cool. But I guess the beautiful part is, like, it totally could have worked as a standalone story, but it also has quite a bit of relevance to the modern day story, because if you've been wondering why exactly the Injustice Society has been, jonesing for the Helmet of Fate, aside from the immeasurable power they'd gained, well, now you know. Wotan has this grand master plan to bring forth demons to destroy our reality and kill the JSA, and this is his way of going about doing it. And we get the the origin story of how long they've been setting this plan in motion, which I think is pretty cool. So aside from just being, like I said, a classic in the very classic sense, JSA story going back to the 40s perfectly sets up the next phase of the Injustice Society's plan. So super stoked with this one, and hopefully this will get people reinvigorated with the story, since I know some people have been feeling like it's been spinning its wheels a little bit. But JSA number 8 gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Spinning its wheels, man, anything but. I've enjoyed his entire run. All right, this sounds weird to say about a Lemire book, but I like, so engaging, interesting, investing, shocking, intriguing, well crafted, well written. Those are adjectives that somebody would use to describe a Jeff Lemire book. But, and maybe I'm alone in this one because there's been some dire times, but this JSA is fun. It's such a good read. I have a great time. Granted, some bad shit is happening, but it's the way that the story is crafted. It's at such a perfect pace that every issue, even though it's like, some pretty rotten shit that's going on, it is such a fun time to read a JSA monthly comic, and that is one of the highest compliments you can give a comic book, I think. I think that his writing, is pretty prevalent here. It's obvious it's Lemire, but he's adapted it to JSA, so it's kind of toned it down some. This classic flashback felt like real classic comics to me. I hope he stays on the title for a while because he's doing so good with it. I like it. The art was soft. I'm not even sure if that's the right word to use. I don't know, but I do feel like a different art choice maybe would have fit a little bit better here, even in keeping with the classic appearance. Something just seemed a little less defined than I would have hoped for. But JSA, man, 7.75 out of 10.
Yeah, this was a very fun one. I'm not saying this just because of who I am, but I am curious where Alan Scott was during the World War II stuff, or was he there and I just forgot he was there?
He was on the boat. Remember?
There was a boat.
In the Alan Scott book, there was during the World War II shit.
Oh, that was during World War II, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right,
Well
that makes
into
more
World
sense.
War II, and
Yeah.
like he wanted nothing to do with them at that point. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they did that little bit of history. Okay, that makes more sense now. No, this is a fun little book, taking a bit of a reprieve from the kind of surprise reveal we got at the end of the last issue to give us some backstory and hopefully explain what's going on before we get into the next big chapter. I like it. It's got a classic feel to it, and I don't mind the pacing right now. The art's quite good. I like the story. It's issue 8, so it is kind of taking a while. Um, but I think it's still kind of paced well. And I know that's a bit of a contradiction to myself, but it makes sense in my mind. Like it's a long story, and I'm not thrilled about that. But when I think about all the stuff that's happened in 8 issues, it feels right at the same time. Does that make sense?
all long stories are okay as long as they're done right. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
As long as you're
that's
not
on you, but I'm
saying
not
I
like,
want a 25 issue fucking story, but 7 issues of it, 5 issues of it is going to be filler, then you didn't need a 25 issue story. You needed a 20 issue story.
yeah. It's for me personally. I much prefer the shorter stories.
I feel like I find myself wishing that there were more to those.
But then what if that the more to those just filler?
Would that be good?
Yeah. I don't know. End of the day, I really like this issue. It is going to get an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Nice.
If I'm correct, I
Well,
think that
sweet.
does it.
That
So,
is
yeah.
it. That does do it. What does it for you? What's your top 3 and favorite moment?
Ooh. Ooh, okay. Let's see. My top 3. I'm gonna put Birds of Prey at number 3, JSA at number 2, and the Atom Project at number 1. Excuse me. Favorite moment for me might have to be. I got 2, and I can't decide between the 2 of them. You know what? I'm gonna go with Birds of Prey, seeing Ink show up um, with Barda, and it just got me a little excited. Ink
Inkbot.
on Barda. Barda had ink on her. It's like a symbiote.
Barda. Yes.
Yeah. But I saw ink. I'm like, oh my god, she's back. I just got really excited. So
Woo-hoo.
that's gonna be my favorite moment.
Right on. All right, my top 3. Number 3, Birds of Prey. Number 2, Poison Ivy. And number 1 went to the Atom Project this week. My favorite moment. That last page of Captain Atom, the full page splash of him flying through space and realizing it's time for him to be a hero again and quit running away. That's good stuff. I wish it wasn't the credit page, because if it wasn't, then I could be good with that. But I can't. So my absolute favorite moment is going to have to be when Babs says, Velvet Tiger, Golden Lion, Copperhead, please don't let this be an animal themed thing. That made me chuckle. If there was ever a time that I'd read a bit of dialogue that said, I'm so over Gotham It was that. It felt good. It was a good time. But that is my favorite moment. Brandon, where are you at, man?
Third place this week went to Poison Ivy. Second place, Birds of Prey. But first place was JSA. I love a good throwback issue. And my favorite moment of this week, very straightforward, but just seeing a splash page of the JSA taking on Baron Blitzkrieg. It's very cool, and I love the way the art brought it together. That or the Blackhawks showing up, also pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was.
All right, well, those were the standout moments, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. But favorite covers, different story. JSA, Adam Project, Secret Six, Birds of Prey, and Poison Ivy. Brandon, which one is your favorite?
I'm going with JSA this week. I think the cover artist Michael Cho did a great job of harkening back to the early 1940s covers of All Star Comics and really just brought back the classic JSA vibe.
Right on. Rob, how about you?
I'm kind of torn. Where Poison Ivy is just a gorgeous cover, and I can't deny they always look good.
Uh-huh.
But
Absolutely.
the Secret Six one, it's like I say every week. I'm a sucker for covers that tell a story, and while this isn't like a big story, it's telling the most story of all the covers, I'd say, this week.
The layered effects that they've done with this green rain, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be,
It's amazing.
looks really, really good. They've done
Yeah.
splatter and they've done bouncing really well. There were some spots they got a little lazy with it artistically. I'm looking at it going, geez, guy. But for the most part, this was really good. I 100% got to back you up on that one too. Both you guys picked some good covers. My favorite, although I'm certain everyone would expect me to pick Poison Ivy, because I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go with Birds of Prey.
Okay.
There is something about this cover that just made Barbara look so badass as the Oracle that I don't know. I could see her like reaching over, just like snapping her finger. There's the Oracle thing, and then she's doing like 3 flicks of her finger and a shake of her wrist, and she just saved Gotham for the 4th time this night.
Yeah.
I love that cover. I thought it was pretty wicked. That one there is definitely my favorite. But great covers all the way around. I think the Adam Project is phenomenal, but I think that all of their covers have kind of looked like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which feels a little...
Just kind of generically dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
And all right, I guess that is it. That is all. So that is us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel, but not same geeks. Brandon, will you be here next weekend, or you'll be actually at a Comic-Con, won't you?
It's not a Comic-Con. It's a signing.
Signing, right.
But yeah. Yes, I will not be here next week. Scott Snyder is having a signing at Midtown Comics Grand Central, and I wanted to get you guys some signatures because I know how much you'd love to be here. So I'll be there, getting some signatures and waiting in line, and hopefully we'll be able to get in and get out because it's usually kind of a slog standing around. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I doubt there'll be any excitement, but it's the least I can do is get some signatures and pass them along.
Much
You're
appreciated.
awesome. The
You're a good
least
man.
he can do. This fucking guy. The least he can do. Would you like me to get you your autograph of one of your heroes?
Unless you can resurrect Neil Adams, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Scott Snyder, writing wise, is one of like the people I aspire to be. His story delivery is absolute. Mwah. But that's it. All right, so that is the show. We're getting out of here. You'll have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.
See ya.